We identified that we're going to have the expert here talk about, so I won't bother you too much with this, but we've identified a few things. And it's a lot more to do with water, and that really affects a great deal more than just this local area here. This is one of the ones that Jess was referring to about Sask Water. This is their pipeline. Was really well presented. I think I really want to note here, this can be found on their site, and more information can be had. They're drawing the water from Buffalo Pound. But this pipeline is just a pipeline to force solution mining. There is no contingency for stubbing in for town or any other benefit. It's just licensed for the mine. Subsidence, this is one you'll always hear me talk about. It's because I have the most questions about it. The subsidence within the mining field, or the well field, sorry, is set to be 6.7. So I'll try to explain a little bit about that. I'm not a geologist, but I've done some reading and have these questions. So I found this in the K+S, or Potash 1 actually, EIS statement. And it depicts this here, which there's another picture at the back of this one. And basically you see those two trees, those nice two big trees there. You kind of stick one on one side, one on the other, and down below you can see the potash layer there. When it's extracted, the earth then drops. The one thing that's to note within there, close to the surface, that's where all our aquifers reside, and the Hatfield is a pretty major one that runs across the province. Here's the other diagram, so you can see it doesn't just, you don't just trip over and drop into a hole. It is a gradual one, certainly, and this is the diagram from the Bethune area. You can see at the very edge towards their facilities and stuff, that's minimum substance. They mine minimally so that they protect their own infrastructure. And then towards the middle, that's kind of where it gets deeper. And this is over the course of the mine. It takes many years to do, but there's no denying that happens. In their case, they left a 1 mile buffer zone from Buffalo Pound. And they also took care of the people that live within there. Here you can see how you can imagine what ours look like. They're going to start on the west side doing the mining. And then they'll be working their way towards the east across the number 6. And there you can see on the eastern third, that's where Loon Creek resides. So why is this different than any other of the mining there? Well, it's a solution mine for one. And each area in the well field is mined with well paths. There's a number of pipes that go down and they create caverns, and then they return the water back up with a potash solution. Again, I'm not a miner, so I don't have all the right terminology, but basically what happens, they have to go through the Hatfield a number of times. Why this is concerning one, the substance, I don't know. We don't have a good solid answer yet, and it's a question really for our government is, what is the standard, what is the acceptable amount of subsidence that can occur when you're over top aquifers like that? And also what happens when you extract that, what do you do with the wastewater, the brine? It is to be pumped back down, which is why it's different than the shaft. The shaft mine does not have wastewater to pump back down. So in those layers that are extracted, is there fracturing involved, and what is the government standard for that? Does that have potential for that wastewater to contaminate anything above it? And that's really the question. And there is numbers and numbers of well pads and caverns, so you can see the cause for concern. For our community's sake, all our community wells, and there's lots of people who draw their water from those aquifers and Hatfield. So it's a pretty big deal, and we are very concerned with it. What it's really drawing attention to is that there definitely needs to be monitoring and contingency plans done. There is, if you think you control Mother Nature, we all know about how surface water has affected all our farming around there. 2 years ago, the harvest, you would drive away from the slough, and that's where you get stuff rather than right beside. So you can't control what's going to happen there, or at least it seems to be unpredictable. So we need contingency plans and lots of monitoring so that our waters and our aquifers are protected. And Yank will indicate that they're willing to compensate. So really, there's a reclamation fund that exists. Perhaps that should be negotiated up front and placed in there in case the unforeseen happens. And last one, it hasn't been chosen yet which rail line there is, but it's pretty topical. We just heard Ray Orb from SARM talk about rails on the radio there. He was talking about moving our grains and all that kind of stuff, whether it needs to be, needs some attention, it needs some investment, and we got to get products moving along. How does adding a bunch of potash onto it affect that industry? And how does it affect the ag industry who needs to get timely movement to their customers?